Well, g'day everybody, Sam Marwood here from Cultivate Farms. We're all about making farming dreams a reality. Today we are actually out on a farm. This is the first interview we've done in the real world on Tim and Tegan's farm in Albury. So we're all about finding great people across Australia who are doing fun things to communicate the story about what it's like living on farm and in the bush. And of course we came across Little Brick Pastoral and reached out to Aimee Snowden, who is sitting right here next to me, and she kindly said yes to having a bit of an interview. But Aimee, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Sam.
So Little Brick Pastoral, I know you've got the Lego farmer.
Yes.
And you actually got him on you.
Oh, definitely. He comes everywhere with me.
Oh, this is exciting. Here he is, look at that. Wow. Brilliant. So how did he get onto his own farm? What's the backstory there, Aimee?
So the Lego farmer was quite fortunate. He has access to a family farm.
Inherited. Great.
Not quite inherited, but he's on the farm. He's working hard. He's going to have to work a bit harder before he gets it all to himself.
So what was his biggest barrier to getting onto the farm?
Definitely finding Lego pieces. So like farming, Lego is quite expensive, and pulling together the right pieces for me to represent a farmer was really key.
Love it. So you focus on celebrating Australian ag, and through Little Bricks. So what are the sort of components of regional Australia and agriculture that you focus on the hardest, that you enjoy telling?
So celebrating is really key for me. I want it to be really, really positive and to tell positive stories and to show positive images. I guess the one that we focus on really hard is the diversity in agriculture. I'm really excited about this industry is so diverse, and there's so many different opportunities in different sectors, so that's something that's really key for me. Yeah,
that's awesome. So you want to start conversations that no doubt you've had a lot. Can you tell us some really inspiring conversations you've had, and maybe some more depressing conversations out there that Little Brick has sparked?
Yeah, sure. So I guess from the inspiring one, what I really love is kids that share their Lego builds with me. Oh, yeah. Particularly if you reach out to some urban kids and they build some little farm scenes and they send it back through to you. I did receive a Duplo made sprayer, and I thought that was awesome because Duplo, that's pretty young, so that's awesome. Wow. I guess I probably don't necessarily focus on those depressing conversations. I really see those as an opportunity. So to have a conversation about farming, and even if it's the conversation that we have, which we have quite regularly down at the Melbourne Lego exhibition, which is held once a year in the school holidays. And we have a lot of conversations around oats because it's a really easy plant to demonstrate. And this year we had literally really simple. We had a roller mill and we had some fresh oats that were harvested just before Christmas, and guys put them through the roller mill and had that conversation around that's literally as easy as it get rolled oats in the supermarket. Yep. Are the grains straight from the farm rolled.
That's brilliant. Who is it? The Dad's Oats have a little roller that you can buy. Yep. That's a great idea.
And they have a great story. Great.
Oh, don't they? Yeah. Oh, if everyone should check them out if they haven't seen them. It's a great story of value adding and of family farming and coming together to start a cracker of a business. It's awesome. So back to the Lego farmer. How do you come up with the ideas for where you stage him on the farm? Is it you just sitting there one day looking out and you say, let's put him there? Is it?
Most of the time it's representative of what we're doing on the farm. So if we're sowing on the farm, then he's going to go out and do some sowing. Yesterday we checked on the germinating wheat, so that's very representative of what's happening right now.
That's good. What's the hardest thing about, because I imagine being so little, that setting a scene would be quite tricky. The variables you've got to take into account. You can't film or take a photo on a windy day. What are the limitations?
Yeah. So wind is obviously a great factor. It's always good to have a second pair of hands. To catch him and whatnot. If you add in more than one figure, you're doubling the chances of someone falling over and blowing over and losing pieces and everything else. But the other thing is the scale. Our equipment on farm, our machinery is quite large. He's very, very little. So it's putting that back into perspective.
Getting the right, perspective. That's very tricky. And what about, so we love, so we're here at Cultivate Farms trying to create content and engage aspiring farmers, and you're all about building an audience. You've got an amazing following. How do you go about building that audience? I guess it's all centered around the images, but what do you want out of the people who are following? Do you want them to take action, or you just want them to be more informed? And how do you go about building that audience as well?
I guess so. The taking the images, and I think images for me are quite powerful on social media. Sometimes it's quite a lot of people who are using, your Facebook and Instagram are quickly scrolling. They don't want to read this really long passage, and it takes a bit to build up a network that want to read a big long passage. So for me, it's photos, and I've always loved photos, so it was a natural that mine would be centered around photos. And you look for that in sort of engagement, in conversation, but I want to create a place that's really comfortable, and people can feel like they can ask any question and submit a question, and we can work on an answer, or we can seek out to somebody else who can help, and that sort of thing. I want it to be a really safe place to ask questions. There's no silly questions.
That's good. So the target are people who probably don't know as much about farming and regional Australia, or are you just trying to
we actually have a lot of followers who are farmers themselves in regional, and they tend to share our photos quite a bit too, because it's a bit of humour to share their day, and it's representative. They can share it with their friends who might be urban based, and share that story as well.
Well, and that's probably the thing that gets them, is just that it's a simple message in a photo, and everyone connects with Lego, and to see it out on a farm, it's a great way to tell that story. It's good. So, and on that angle of telling stories, what are your thoughts on farmers, so aspiring farmers or people who are current farmers, and them telling their story online? Is this do you think there's a must for everyone to be doing that, or is there an advantage to it, or is it just only certain people who happen to have the interest in it? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's necessarily a must. You don't want to make anyone feel that they have to. I certainly think it's valuable for those who do, and it can be on all different mediums, whether that be sharing photos on Instagram of your farm, telling more of your story on Facebook, or just jumping onto Twitter and joining Ag Chattels on a Tuesday night. Or, I see a lot of farmers that use Twitter and have that conversation around the country and around the world, because they're all doing the same things, but they might be working alone on their property.
Yeah, it's a great way to connect with people. When you are on your own. And that's, I think, what we'll be encouraging more of anyone that we match up with at Cultivate Farms. We're going to be pushing that they tell their story about what they're doing and why they're doing, and share there every day. I think it's a really powerful way to tell your story. People are there for free, right there, watching. That you can.
And people are interested.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the big thing. Probably a lot of people say to us, but it's just me going around the farm every day. It's not that interesting, but that's because you live it every day.
That's right. And the more you look, the more you'll see. So if you start doing it regularly, you'll find more things that are thing. So I think there's certainly interest there, and sometimes it takes a little while to build it up, but it's also finding your thing and sharing it your way, not just going, that's really cool, and let me just try and copy it, because that person's already got an audience. You need to create your own audience through your own way. Yeah,
and it could be that you like video and you're good at video. It could be you're good at photographs or just writing. So there's different ways of sharing. You'd have to, as you say, follow just somebody else. So do you have any ideas of anybody who's trying to do something a little bit different like you are, where you're following the Lego farmer? Have you had any other ideas? And you think, yes, I want to do a whole Instagram on this? Or how do people think about it? Should they just document their lives, or should they be using these prop ideas to help tell their story?
I think find something you're really interested in. Bring in a couple of you'll probably have interest outside ag directly, whether it's photography, whether it's videoing, whether you've got a character that you really love, or you want to create one. I think, find something that you really love and really reach out. And obviously look around. There's lots of inspiration already online, so look at what different people are doing and how quite a lot of those successful ones, they started just like all the rest of us.
Yep.
But
just having a go. Trying it out.
Finding something unique that tells your story.
I love it. I want to see, it would be great to see anybody who comes in has a rival Lego farming program. But so back to you and your farming, Aimee. You grew up on a farm in Tokemwal, and you came back while studying ag. Are you going to take over the farm? What are your farming dreams?
So I have two younger siblings that I might need to fight that for. My younger brother is on the farm as well with me. So he is a diesel mechanic. So went away and did his training and came back. And my young sister's in uni. So I don't know if it'll be all mine. But there's opportunity there.
Yeah. So how do you decide how it all happens? Is it just a big Barney continually?
No, I don't think it'll be a big Barney. We regularly have conversations, and we talk about that. At this point, there's nothing official as we progress until we get to that next stage where we're a little bit older and we've all worked out what we want to do and that sort of thing. I don't know if necessarily my role is going to be as that traditional farmer. I quite like the diversity they have at the moment, working in a bit of PR and communications and having some other lines. So I don't know if I'm going to take that traditional role.
Yep.
But, yeah.
That's good. I think it needs this constant conversation because it's such a heavy discussion. We talk about it a lot with retiring farmers, and it's your life. This bit of dirt is your life,
Yep.
and your kids are involved. And I think it has to have 10 or 20 years worth of discussion.
Yeah. And
It's
we're starting the conversation, but Dad's not near retirement yet, so he's still got a long way to go. So.
So what were the factors that you took into account coming back? So you went away, was it Sydney? Where did you study?
No.
Where?
I studied by distance.
Oh, wow.
So I literally haven't moved within 100 k's from home. When I left school, I worked locally in an accounting firm, and then I did a traineeship there, and then went on and worked locally in irrigation. So I actually moved to Deniliquin, which is literally only 100 k's from home. I was home every weekend to the farm.
Great.
And then made the progression. I was partway through my degree whilst working, made the progression to come home and finish off that degree.
Wow. So distance education was how you... Oh, that's a great option. I didn't even know... Well, I didn't have it on my thought process of something to do. So why did you decide, well, I'm just going to pack up and leave and go to university elsewhere and do it?
Because I didn't do that straight in after school. So I was mature age student at 23 when I got accepted to uni. And it just kind of worked. I could still hold my job and work full time and study part time. And it just sort of worked for me. I studied ag business, so it's not as practical as some of your ag science degrees, but it still does have a lot of practical subjects. And we had red schools. We would go up once a semester for a block, whether it be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and get all your pracs sort of in one. And then
that is a great option. So we're all about getting people farm ready, and I love that idea that you could be on farm and then do your study online, distance education, and don't have to leave.
When you go into study a little bit later in life, you get credits for previous education, previous work and that sort of stuff. I nearly cut my degree in half with my credits. It's very close to halfway, so that really helps.
We're going to post a video soon about encouraging people to go volunteer for 12 months for the best farmer they can think of, and that's what I keep thinking about, this role of university or education, and how do you encourage people to think differently about going straight from school, then they go, oh, I've got to go to university or tapers. I love the idea you take a year or two doing something different or working, and then come back to it. And it sounds like there's added benefits as well if you've got
There is, and it's not actually unheard of. So Marcus Osmond, the college down in Victoria, you have to go. You have to have a gap year before you're accepted into the college. And I think they then have a gap year partway through as well. They're very much, you need to get out and field. So
good point, because I started uni at 17. For 1 week I was 17 starting uni. So that's just too young. I should have done something else. I should have volunteered for 12 months. So you're also about educating kids and adults with Little Brick Pastoral. What do you think is stopping, and you hear about this all the time, city people not understanding what's happening in the bush? What do you think are the big things stopping them from understanding farming and even taking that even the next step, someone in the city who's never been a farmer, to think, I want to become a farmer? What are the barriers that we've got in communicating?
I think a lot of it comes back to this perception of maybe what a farmer is, or what being a farmer involves, and maybe this perception that you're going to sit on the tractor all day. I actually think that those that are urban-based or that have come from a different path into ag bring a lot into agriculture, and particularly going forward when we've got so much technology coming in and so much innovation coming into the sector, we need people with diverse skills. There was a job recently for someone that was a large property that were putting on a farmhand or in that sort of position, and they weren't looking for a farm background, they were looking for an IT background, because they had that much IT on the property that they needed someone to manage it.
That's great. Yeah. So I think, is it just, so it's about us communicating more and more that the jobs aren't just purely farming. There's tech, there's business. Yeah,
whole diverse range.
Yeah. So it's just getting out, communicating, watching videos like this is a great way to do it. So what is your big plan? We can wrap up in a second, Aimee, but what is your big plan for Little Brick? Where are you going to go international? When you are? And you do have a world focus though, even though you're based here.
We do have a bit of a world focus. Lego Farmer hasn't ever been overseas himself. nor me. But we have had followings from around the world. We did a project with a company in the United States, so we've had a bit of international focus. But our plans going forward are in that education space. So we're really fortunate to release a teacher resource kit last year with the New South Wales DPI that focused on pulses. It was the International Year of the Pulse. That was a hands-on classroom activity. There was Lego included, but there was also the kids grew pulses in the classroom in their own little pots and that. So that's, for me, that's where I'm really passionate about, and continuing and using the opportunities that Lego Farmer has created to get into that sort of space and that education.
Okay, so we can jump online and get access to that.
The kits was, there was 200 of them that were fully subsidised, and then they're all gone.
Oh, limited. Well, email in and tell her you want more is probably the one thing to do.
Yeah, so that someone will give me, we can get more money on board and grants and that sort of thing, and go forward with that.
So, and do you want people to approach you as well? So anyone watching now who loves, I think I'd love to use Lego Farmer in this way. Is that where you're
Yeah, anyone who's got ideas, we're always open to new ideas and discussions, and yeah.
Brilliant. And where should they go? What's the website?
littlebrickpastoral.com, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
Excellent. Well, Aimee, thank you very much. Keep up the energy. We do love watching the Lego Farmer and all his exploits. Keep up the energy, the passion. It's a lot of fun, and thank you for what you do.
Not a problem. Thanks, Sam.
Cheers, guys.